What's up? You're watching Poots Garage. This week we're working on the truck again, but I kind of jumped the gun. I didn't show you guys some stuff. So for a quick backstory, this is a 1982 Chevy K30. It's supposed to have 1-ton axles, but when I bought the truck, it didn't have the correct front axles. So I ended up buying a set of military Chevy truck axles, and that's what's under it now. This thing's been being built for the last 2 years, so if you're interested in this, make sure you go back and watch them old videos, because I put a lot of work into this. But anyways, we got the military axles in there. So we got 456 gears. It's got a factory rear Detroit locker, but the front axle is an open diff. And we finally are taking care of that. Because how you can have a badass truck but have an open differential? So to correct that, we went out and I actually found a used differential. I found a used Detroit locker for a Dana 60. And this thing is almost new. It's actually really fresh. Let's get it out of the box and show you. Yeet. So I purchased this from a dude that works at WFO Concepts. That was pretty cool. I actually got to drive down there and go check out the shop. And, well, not really check out the shop, but I went there and I got to check some things out. And then I ended up buying some extra stuff with them. But anyways, this came out of one of their trucks. And he had this in the front. It was a Dana 60 in the front of his Toyota 4Runner. And he ended up, it was a fresh unit he put in there, ran it for about 1,200 miles, and he came across a really good deal on a selectable locker, so he put that in instead. So he sold this to me for really cheap, in my opinion. I got a great deal on this. So I'm super stoked. It's pretty much a brand new differential, and it's ready to go. It's supposed to be the proper 35 spline, 456 gear and up case brake, deal for the gears. So it should drop right in. And last night I had a friend come by, thanks to Christian, and we tore this thing apart. I was actually going to try and get some of that on video, but I just completely forgot, when you got help and everything's going fast, and I never even thought about getting the camera out. It is completely torn apart now. So the center section was out. I actually put it back in because I wanted to check the backlash on it. It is a little loose, so I might make a little adjustment on the shims when I'm going to try and use these old bearings onto the new diff. Because these bearings, I think, look pretty good, so we're going to try and reuse that. But yeah, it was all tore apart. That's the open diff in there. It's, not junk, but whatever. Everything inside of this axle looks extremely nice. Like, everything looks fresh. Like, the gears look like they have no wear on them. Bearings look great. Everything is super clean. It's kind of impressive, and like we pulled out these old hubs. Even the hubs have dry spots in them. Like, these were probably brand new installed, some point before I bought these axles from a guy off the East Coast. And everything was probably rebuilt, probably by the military or something. Maybe they used it for training or something. I don't know. But everything seems fresh inside, which is really surprising. Because there was quite a bit of rust on the outside of everything that we had to clean up. But things actually came apart pretty easy. The spindles came apart pretty easy. Yeah, everything looks good. It still has like blue grease on the bearings. So yeah, pretty fresh. I'm pretty excited about this. I'm happy. And since we're pulling it all apart, I am going to take care of what I think is, from what I've understood, is the weak link on these Dana 60 front ends. These Dana 60s are beefy units. Everything is super big. But they have one flaw, it seems like, and that is these little stub shafts. I don't know if you can tell in the video. Inner shaft looks fat. It's big. It actually expands in the middle and comes back down to the ends. Like, that's huge. But then you come out here, and this guy actually just necks down. So these are 30 spline outers, 35 spline inners. So these outers are a weak link. Some people say they're not much stronger than a Dana 44 even. But I am doing my research, and I did notice that I have the better outer. I guess there's one that actually necks down further. It actually necks down before the splines too. So there's ones that are actually smaller, and then the inner shafts are not, they don't bulge in the middle. I don't remember if they actually neck down or if they're just like straight. But so these are actually the better versions, but still not good enough for me. So I ended up buying a kit. We're going to get a 35 spline outer shaft, not chromoly or anything. We're not going that crazy yet. Just a good 35 spline shaft. So it'll be just as strong as the inner basically. And then when you do that, obviously, the piece that's going to go on the outside is your hub. And so you have to upgrade that hub also. So I got a nice new set of worn locking hubs coming as well. And I did want to upgrade hubs anyways. These are worn hubs. I don't know if these are factory or what, but these are like the worn, I forget what they call them, like standard duty. They got a plastic cap, and I don't know, they're pretty cheap online actually. And then the ones that you generally want to get are, I believe, the premium version, which has the gold metal center cap, and I don't know if the insides are stronger. I assume so, but obviously we got that coming because they only make the good version in a 35 spline for these, because it's kind of like an upgrade part for it. It's a bit of a bummer because, I mean, originally when I was gonna throw this locker in, I'm like, cool, I can upgrade the hubs and I can keep these old ones as spares, but since we're upgrading the shafts now, I can't really use them unless I swap out the shaft and the hub if I had a failure, which would be a last resort. I might keep them in there as spares until I get a good set of, you know, hubs. I don't know. We'll see. Probably end up just getting rid of this stuff anyways. I don't want to keep it if I don't have to. So that's where we're at right now. I'm kind of waiting on, I got to get those bearings pressed off and onto the new Detroit locker. I got a friend in town that I might utilize for that. I was talking to him last night. We might actually do a little shim change, like I mentioned, to close up that backlash, get rid of some of that slop. I have like 16 thou backlash. Spec is supposed to be 5 to 10, so that's a little loose for this. So it'll be nice to tighten that up a little bit. And the bearing preload seems a little light as well, so I think it's going to work out perfect, just being able to add one shim on one side to tighten it up and tighten the bearings, and it'll kind of do everything in one chunk. I think we'll be cool. Obviously this is the short side. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but how fat these are. These are just massive. I love how big that is. I want to say this is, up here I believe is 1.5 inches. That's what a 35 spline is. And a 30 spline I believe is 1.25 inches. So these are 1/4 inch bigger, which is quite a bit of material. And of course we're going to get new U-joints in there too. I got some nice Spicer units, some of their slightly better ones. So everything will be strong in here. Hopefully my weak links will still be a hub, because that's easy to replace if you break that. Or my front drive shaft is probably going to be a weak link, because I still have 1310 U-joints in that thing, but that is also easy to replace if you break that. Plus I actually have a spare shaft, that original shaft I bought for this that was a little too short. I might make a modification on that and make it serviceable, make it usable. So we'll see. I'm happy. We're getting through this. So it's going to be at least another week before I get back on this. So this is going to be a week or two or even longer later. We got through another work week and we got some parts. Heck yeah, let's see what we got. Open. Woo! Oh yeah, ordered a new can of paint. Got our flat black. That's like semi-gloss. We got, of course, a sticker. This is from Summit Racing. You know the stickers. Receipt. We don't need that because I don't want to see how much I spent. I want to be reminded. I think I know what's in this one. Let's check it out. Bam! Ooh, those are pretty. Ooh. We got a new set of hubs. Those are like gold colored. Those aren't even like, wow, okay. Those are almost orange. Huh, the match is pretty good. These are the 35 spline hubs. There's a lot of splines in there. So these will allow us to do our little upgrade that we need. Oh good, it came with new retainers and all that stuff. I was wondering if it would come with all that. Cool. I'm happy to see that. And these, I actually just noticed I'm missing some stuff in here, so I'm gonna have to go look at receipts and stuff and see what happened with that. But let's see what this one is. Bam! Oh, sorry. Bam! A big old shaft. That's some beef. That is a 35 spline shaft. It is significantly fatter. I like that. That makes me feel a lot better. And the second one. So we got the 35 spline upgrade now. I'm missing U-bolts, U-joints. I'm missing the U-joints, so I need to find out where those are. Those are supposed to be in this order. They're getting shipped separate. U-joints shipped from Georgia. Okay, so those are coming in a separate box, it sounds like. That's okay. They also ordered a can of orange paint because, you know, we got to do Poots Garage orange on everything. All right, we have started the process. So first off, I already got the side bearings swapped on my 2 differentials. So now I need to swap the ring gear. So we'll take you along on that ride. So we got our new Detroit here. We got the bearings swapped over from the old differential. They looked really good. So we're going to try to use the old ones. We made a small shim adjustment. We're trying to tighten up the backlash a little because I'm a little sloppy at like 16 thou. So we're going to tighten up the backlash, but I also have almost no preload on the side bearings when you put this thing in and out. So we pretty much just added a shim to one side, so that should tighten everything up. So we're going to try that out, but first I got to get the ring gear swapped over as well so that yeah, then we can throw this new unit in and start checking everything to see, fingers crossed, that everything works out right shim-wise and whatnot. So first off, we got to buzz this old one off. Can't do it one-handed apparently, so I'm going to put this down. Got this thing torqued, ready to go, cleaned up the bearings, cleaned up everything. Next is pretty much to get it back in the axle, and hopefully my issues are fixed and this new locker goes right in. Oh boy. Oh boy. Get in there. Better. Alright, so now we have a little bit of side load, so that's good. Before we didn't have any of that pinion side bearing load, so that makes me feel a little better about that. Backlash, we'll measure that here and see if it's any better. Doesn't feel that much better, but we'll see. Let's see what we got now. So I still have about 12 thou, which is still a little sloppy. I think we want to stay under 10. It's 2,000 worth messing with again. I don't know, I'm going to contact somebody that knows a little bit more about this. All right, just sent some messages to a friend of mine that's really involved with this stuff, and he knows a lot better than I do. And so he kind of reassured me that we have 12 thousandths, which is decent. It's good for a used set of gears, which is what I was hoping to hear. So it's way better than it was before. So when I first pulled this thing apart, we had 16 thousandths backlash, which is way too much. And when I pulled it out, I mean, I could pull the diff out by hand. I didn't have to pry it out or anything. So I had almost no side gear preload on the bearings. So now I had to smack it in a little bit harder, which is awesome. And then we reduced our backlash down to 12, which is good for a used set of gears. So I'm happy with the way it's sitting right now. So we're gonna leave it. I know everybody's gonna have an opinion on this because gears, everybody's got an opinion on gears. And to be honest, I don't even think I'm gonna put the little marking compound. I don't even wanna know what the gear pattern is on this, to be honest. This axle it's great and all, but I'm sure someday we're gonna wanna re-gear to better gears. We're gonna go to like, 513s or something a little bit better than 456, because it is a little weak for 40s, but it's working good now. But we'll save the crazy setup for when we do that, and then we can upgrade to actual chromoly axle shafts and get all the nice stuff. And we're not going to fully rebuild this axle now. It's better than it was before. All right. So I'm happy. I'm content with it. Now we can kind of continue on. I'm actually still waiting on U-joints to show up with my big shaft upgrade kit. So we're still waiting on that, so I can't put it fully back together. I'm going to start cleaning some stuff up. Maybe I'll put the cover back on and stuff like that while we wait. But yeah, we're making progress, so I'm happy. I'm happy with this gear setup.